move slowly through the African wetlands, my legs still learning how much weight they carry. The ground is dark and wet, covered with tall grass and shallow pools that reflect the heavy sky. Every step makes a soft sound as mud shifts under my feet. At first it feels safe. The air smells warm and thick. Insects hover above the water. Distant birds lift and settle again. I follow a familiar path, guided by instinct and curiosity, unaware that the earth ahead is different from the earth behind me. Then the ground changes. My front foot sinks deeper than it should. The mud pulls instead of holding. I shift my weight back, but my other foot sinks too, slower and heavier, as if the land is swallowing me. I freeze. The surface around my legs trembles and turns glossy, dark water seeping upward. Each small movement makes the ground loosen more, tightening its grip around my ankles. I try to step forward. The effort only drags me down to my knees. The wetland is silent now. The tall grass stands still. The shallow water around me ripples outward in slow circles as my body sinks inch by inch into the quicksand hidden beneath the mud. My breathing grows faster. I lift one leg with force, but the suction pulls back harder, locking me in place. The ground rises to my chest, cold and heavy, pressing against my body and stealing my balance. I am small. I am stuck. Every instinct tells me to move, to push, to escape. But the more I struggle, the deeper I sink. My trunk lifts instinctively, reaching upward for air as the mud tightens around my legs. The wetlands stretch wide and empty around me, and I am trapped, sinking, with no clear way out. The ground does not stop pulling. Every breath I take makes my body sink a little more, as if the wetlands are slowly deciding to keep me. The mud tightens around my legs, creeping higher, colder, heavier, turning my weight against me. I try to stay still. Instinct tells me to fight to pull free, but I feel how dangerous that is now. Even the smallest movement makes the surface tremble and soften, stealing more space beneath me. The water reaches higher along my chest. It presses against my skin, carrying the smell of wet earth and decay. My legs are no longer legs below the surface. They feel like they belong to the ground now, locked in place, swallowed and unmoving. I lift my trunk higher. Air feels precious. Each breath matters. I tilt my head upward, stretching my neck as far as I can, afraid that if I lower it even slightly, the mud will rise faster. The wetlands feel vast and empty. Tall grass surrounds me on all sides, hiding the horizon. Shallow pools shimmer faintly, calm and indifferent, as if nothing is wrong. No movement comes toward me. No vibration answers my fear. I sink again. The quicksand releases a low ripple, dark water seeping upward as my body drops another inch. The pressure around my ribs tightens, making it harder to expand my lungs fully. Panic tries to take over. My heart races, my breaths shorten. I shift without meaning to, and immediately the ground punishes the mistake, pulling me lower and locking tighter around my body. I stop. I freeze again, forcing myself to stay calm, trunk high, body rigid. The wetland is quiet, but the danger is growing with every passing second. If nothing changes, I will not be able to keep my head above the surface, and the earth beneath me shows no sign of letting go. The ground trembles. At first it is faint, almost imagined, a low vibration that travels through the mud and into my chest. The quicksand around my body ripples differently now, disturbed not by my movement, but by something much heavier approaching. I lift my head higher. The tall grass parts in the distance, bending under massive weight. The wetlands no longer feel empty. The silence breaks as deep, steady footsteps press into the ground, each one sending a shock through the unstable earth around me. My family is coming. A large adult elephant emerges from the grass, gray skin darkened by mud and water, ears spread wide, eyes locked on me. Behind her, other elephants move into view, their bodies forming a solid line against the wetland. The quicksand reacts. As their weight shifts the ground, the surface around me loosens slightly, water rippling outward in faster waves. The pressure around my chest changes, not gone, but no longer tightening. The adult elephant steps closer. She moves carefully, placing her feet wide and slow to avoid triggering the unstable ground. Her trunk stretches toward me, hovering just above the mud, testing distance and reach. I stay still. Every instinct screams to move toward her, but I remember the danger. I freeze, trunk raised, body rigid, trusting her to guide what happens next. She lowers her trunk further. The tip touches my head gently, then slides along my back, steady and reassuring. Her presence alone calms my racing breath, slowing my panic enough to think. She braces herself. One massive leg plants firmly on more solid ground. Her body angles backward, muscles tightening as she prepares to pull without sinking herself. The wetlands hold their breath. This is the moment. If she missteps, we both sink. If she succeeds, I rise. The tension locks in place, balanced between rescue and disaster, as her trunk tightens gently around me and the ground begins to shift. The ground fights back. As my body lifts higher, the quicksand tightens one last time, pulling hard around my lower belly and legs as if refusing to release me. The pressure surges suddenly, stealing my balance and forcing my body to tilt sideways. Fear floods back instantly. My trunk swings higher as I gasp for air, chest tightening while the mud clings stubbornly, stretching instead of breaking. For a brief moment, I feel suspended between rising and sinking, trapped in the worst possible balance. My mother reacts without hesitation. Her muscles lock, her stance widens, and her weight shifts backward with absolute precision. The tension through her trunk becomes firm and unyielding, strong enough to counter the pull of the earth without dragging either of us down. The ground shudders. A deep ripple runs through the quicksand, water bubbling up as suction finally begins to fail. The mud loosens in heavy folds, sliding downward instead of gripping, releasing my body inch by inch. I feel my legs move, not freely yet, but enough to know they still belong to me. My chest lifts higher, pressure easing, air filling my lungs fully for the first time since I became trapped. Then the final hold breaks. With a slow, heavy release, the quicksand lets go of my lower body. Mud collapses inward behind me as I rise completely out of the trap, my weight shifting suddenly onto solid ground. I stumble, my legs shake violently, unable to hold me at first. I nearly fall, but my mother stays close, guiding me forward, her body blocking any chance of slipping back. The wetlands erupt with motion. Water splashes, mud slides. The dangerous patch collapses into itself, sealing the trap where I almost disappeared. I am free. Shaking, covered in mud, breathing hard but standing. The most dangerous moment has passed, and the earth no longer has me. The danger fades completely. My body finally relaxes, no longer fighting the ground beneath me. My legs stop shaking, strength returning as mud dries and falls away in heavy clumps. I breathe deeply, filling my lungs without fear. The wetlands feel calm again. Water reflects the soft sky. Tall grass moves gently in the breeze. The place that almost swallowed me now looks ordinary, harmless, as if nothing terrible ever happened here. My mother stays close. She no longer stands in a defensive posture. Her presence is calm, steady, guiding rather than guarding. I feel safe simply by being beside her. I take another step. This time it is confident. The ground holds firm beneath my feet. I am no longer sinking. I am moving forward on my own. The herd begins to shift. Large bodies turn slowly, forming a clear path away from the dangerous patch of ground. There is no urgency now, only quiet purpose. Survival has already been secured. I follow them, not because I am afraid, but because this is where I belong. Each step takes me farther from the place that trapped me, and closer to the rhythm of the herd. Before we leave the area, I pause. I look back at the wetland once more. The mud is still. The water is calm. The trap is hidden again, waiting for another careless step that will never be mine. I turn forward. The herd moves on, and I move with them, alive, free, and stronger than I was before. The wetlands release me, and I walk away.